All right, welcome back to we got an easy woodworking project for you today. It's going to be a bird feeder, and it's made out of cedar. These are really nice. If you're going to feed your birds, this is what you need to do, is go ahead and make some feeders. Now, I'm using one board, one picket fence board out of cedar. You can also use the treat if you like. And I have glued in, and I'm using staples instead of brads today. And that's what you come up with. Really nice. Got little holes on the side of it here, and they're actually designed to go up on a wall because it's got a backing on it. So birds are going to come through the front or through these two sides here. You can also make a hanger and just a plain board to screw in the back like this. So you'll have a place to screw it here and here, or you can screw it on the inside here. Or if you like, you can put some little plate or something underneath to hold it up on the wall. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started, and we're going to cut a few boards. Let's go over to the saw and get those cut up. Okay, now most of this wood comes pretty. Look at that bucket over here. It comes pretty rough. I did plane it down a little bit. You don't have to. You just go ahead and use it whatever size it is. So the first board we're going to need, let's cut us a 10-inch long. Now we're just going to leave it as wide as it, because I have to take it to this table saw. So these are coming 5.5 inches wide. I don't think I cut anything on this board. I think this board, what size cut? About 5.5 inches. So we're going to cut a 12 out of there. Okay. Now we're going to need to cut a 10 inches long. Okay, 10. Need two of them, 10 inches long. One 10-inch. And we're going to do another 10-inch. Now we need two 7¼ inches. 7¼ One more 7¼ so that makes two of those. Now we need a 11-inch. So we need 11-inch. Make sure I get that right. Let's cut 11-inch here. Okay, that's it. Now let's take these over to the table saw and cut them up. Okay, let's go by the boards here. We're going to need the first one. We're going to need is going to be 10 inches long by 5 inches. Okay, so we need to cut that down to 5 inches. Okay, we got another 10 inches long. We need to cut it down to 4 3/4. Let's make sure I got that right. You're done. Okay, and the roof is 12 inches long. And just leave it 5.5 inches wide. Okay, that's the roof. Put it off to the side. Let's go with the two side ones, and then we'll do that small one I need to do. Okay, these are the sides that has the hole in them. Okay, We need to do those sides. So those sides will be 7 1/4 high, okay, 4 3/4 wide. So after you cut that one, you can basically just leave it the same. Make sure you got that same measurement, 4 3/4. We're going to cut both of these, okay. We got one more to do, and this one is going to be, this should be 11 inches, so we're going to need 11. Let's cut the 11 first and then cut it to 1.5 inches, okay. Down to 1.5 inches wide, 1 inch, 1.5. Let's make sure I check it out here. Okay, 1.5 inches, and we're going to cut that 1.5 inches, 11 inches long. One more time, 1.5 inches, okay. Cut one more time, 1.5 inches. Now, explain this 1.5 inches here to you. If that saw shuts up. Okay, this 1.5 inches. Put these off here. I don't need this one. I don't need this one. And this is going to be, okay, this is going to be the back and the bottom. And if I showed you that little board that goes up on the top here. Just like that. That's going to be the little board that's going to go on top. So it has to be the same size. So we need to cut this down to 10 inches. Okay? Let's mark a 10 inch on it. So it's 1.5 inches wide. We're trying to get this saw make so much noise, to 10 inches long. All right. Now we got to do the sides. Okay. Now the sides are just a little bit different, and what I want to do with the sides, let me get this thing out of the way. We're going to cut a hole in these things. Now you can make up whatever size you like. It doesn't matter. You can go to a smaller one. We're going to use about 2.5 inch hole saw. So what I need to do is try to get the middle of that best you can. Okay. So I'm going to mark this one. Let's see, 5 inches, be 1.5. I'm gonna mark it. Let's go ahead and mark it 2 3/4. That's what I'm gonna get out of it in the center. By 3.5 inches, coming down off the top. So this might be my top here. Okay. So we'll do the same thing here. I'm gonna come down about 3.5 inches. And just give it 2 3/8 to make a kind of a center. Okay. And then we're going to cut those 2 holes before we go any further on it. Okay. So let's go cut those. Now I've had a lot of these hole saw bits for many years. This is a pretty neat one here. That I do have them like, you can buy them like this. They're pretty nice. It's got a little, it loads up, then you kind of unscrew it, and what it does, it has 2 prongs that kind of stick out, so it's like a quick connect. Sometimes they get it in there, you can't get them out, you got to really take like a wrench and other stuff to unscrew them like that, but you just kind of line it up with the 2 little studs in there. Get it in there, come on. There it is, and then it just kind of locks in. See what I'm saying? Like that's like a quick, but they're expensive. These are. I mean, you don't have to use these if you're just going to kind of use this, but it makes it easier to come off. So if you end up buying them, that's a great thing. But you don't have to buy one. Just make sure they kind of set up the same, because there is different ones. Okay, let me go ahead and get this. Now this one's a little harder one to see. I got to kind of look down through this hole here and then hold on this thing. That's probably going too fast. I'm going to have to set it down a little bit lower. Pretty fast there. It'll just burn that bit up if it goes too fast. But we'll get done with this and then I'll come back and set it later. Turn that over. That cedar always leaves that much dust. Always does that to me. Okay, get that cleaned up. Let's take these two back over to the miter saw. I'm going to put an angle on these. Okay, and then we'll pick out, because I did the tops. Make sure mine's lined up so I can do the tops. There, like that. Okay. Alright, the only thing I did with these is I cut them on a 15-degree angle. Okay, which I think I'm going to get this one. Let's see, put these back together where I measure them, and then make sure I know. I think I got them pretty much in the center. I'm just going to measure them anyways. 2.5, about 2 inches. So let's cut them on top up here. Put this over here. Okay, so I'm going to cut it on a 15. Let's go like that. I will mark it just to make sure the roof's going to be the same. That cedar gets to me every time. I'm more allergic to cedar than I am pine. Okay, that's what we got. So let's go back over to the table and put this stuff together. This is what we got, just a few pieces. You can see this is going to do the whole thing right here. Of course, I need to pull that out. I'll try to get this little staple out of the bottom of this one. There we go. Now, if you like, you can go ahead and sand some of this stuff. We sanded all when it's all together. I did. I just used palm sander. We'll get it sanded up here. And then, of course, we just used some glue. And I'm using an inch. That thing's stuck again. Oh, there it is. I think it's about, let me see. My staples, like I said, you can use brad nails. I'm using about an inch. Oh, about an inch and a quarter staple on it. Like I said, I think the staple would hold a lot better. Okay, first thing you want to do is we need to get the boarding board here. This is the roof. Let's put this off the side. This over here. No, let's go ahead and do the boarding. Which one's the boarding? The boarding would be, I'll go ahead and make sure it's the smaller one. So this would be the boarding. Yep. And then this would be the back. Yep. So, just to make sure. Okay, here's the board. Now, the way I got these things pointed, you can see they're pointed where the roof is actually going down this. And the reason why I did that is because if this goes against the wall, you don't want the roof coming this way, because if it's coming this way, the water's going to go back against the wall. You know, if it rains. But if you pour it this way, it's going to come off the front. So that's what we got to do. So we got to make sure that we point these the right way. So if I put it this way, I got to make sure my front's going to be right here on the lower side. So let me go ahead and get some glue here. Just make sure you're pointing both the same way. Let's let's go this way. It don't make any difference until we get it put together. Oh, no air. There we go. Now we got air. Glue here. Yep, let's see. Yep, make sure it's the same. Because the first one I built, I did that backwards. Of course. Won't pay attention, you know. Was not paying attention to it. Held them backwards. That part. Now this is the backboard, so it's going to go in the back where it's real high. Okay, the high part of it, just like that. Okay, now there is another board that goes in the back, and that's that 10-inch I told you to cut. It's 1.5 inches. That's going to do the filler here, and we're going to put that right in between here like this. Okay. All it's on is extending that board a little bit because, like I said, it comes 5.5 inches. So we figured we'd just go ahead and put a little filler in like that. I mean, it's just as fun. Now, if you don't make it all the way to the top, and there's a slight gap in it, that'd be kind of good. I mean, give it a little bit of air or something. But it's not going to hurt it because it's up so high. You know what I'm saying? It's up there. So that won't hurt it. Just tap it down. Go. Okay, now we need just to put the front board on here, and this is the 11 inches by 1.5 inches, and that's just where you can put your feet up here, so it's going to keep it. Just the birds will be on it. So let's go ahead and get that one done. Start coming through right there just a little bit. Okay, now let's put the rope on. You know what I did? I just laid it down like this, and then I just eyed it up. You can measure it out if you like. I don't think it's really that important. If you can eye it up, just kind of get used to doing that, because that's what a lot of a lot of this stuff we do is just use the eye and figure it out ourselves. So pick out your nice side, whatever side you think's nicest, top or bottom. I like this side, it looks good. And just kind of put it right here, and then kind of look down and move back, because like it's 12 inches long, so it's actually longer. It's going to be longer, so it's going to stick out on the side. So I just kind of bring it back and forth just a little bit, and if it looks good, let's deal with it. Now, when you're building things like this, you definitely want to just try to learn to eye things up and just take it for granted that, you know, you'll get the hang of it. The reason why is because, you know, you put out a whole bunch of these and you sold them. You want them really nice, but you also want to put them out fast enough, because it's not going to pay you just put them out real slow. You know what I mean? When you do a lot of this woodworking stuff like this, and you're going to sell it, you know, just that sanding a little bit alone by itself really makes a big difference in what people would want to buy. You know what I'm saying? Because most people grab things, they don't. You don't want to grab it too rough. They like smooth things with no edges. If you start selling them, you'll see people will pick them up and they'll look at them. But when they're cut off like that, and you know, kind of cut the size down, people seem to, they're a little bit different when they want to buy something like that. So, well, we got 3 of them built, and we're going to be putting up our boxes here shortly. And you can do the same thing if you would like to make these. Be a great addition to your birds. You forget bird boxes and stuff like that. Really nice little feeders, and you only have to use a picket fence. You only have one. That's all you need to make one of these. So if you buy 5 boards, you can make 5 of these things, and look how fast we can make them. I mean, I would say it probably takes me somewhere around, if I cut them, less than 10 minutes, maybe 10 minutes to build a box. So it'd be real easy for you to do it too, if you like to build, or just make one for somebody that you like to do a kind gesture to, and put them a little bit of bird feed in it. You know, grandma or an aunt or somebody, or your mom. Really good gifts too. So, but if I was taking one, I'm trying to tell you, if I'm going to sell these things, something like this, I would sell, because I get a lot of people ask me, you know, what would you sell it for? What would you sell it for? And I sell a lot of things. Don't get me wrong. I sell a lot of things. I would probably sell this for around $15. Now, if you want to make a little bit more off of it, let me tell you how you can make a little bit more off your bird feeders. Is buy yourself a bag of bird seed. Okay, a big bag, so like a 20-pound bag, and then get you a box of Ziploc baggies and put yourself some bird seed in a Ziploc baggie. Put it inside of this thing here, and then sell it with the bird feeder. And that's what sells. Okay, because if you go into a store, you'll see where they have, you know, some of the bird feeders would actually have a package of seed or something inside. So watch what the stores do if you want to sell these. Okay, you'll sell them a lot faster. That way, that person doesn't have to go out and get bird feed. That person's already got it, and they also have the bird feeder. So there you go. So I hope that helped you out. A little tip for today, and maybe you'll sell some of these, or maybe you'll just give somebody a nice gift, a really nice gift, something you build with your hands. Okay, thanks for watching, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. Leave your thumbs up, and I appreciate you for all the support you give me, and you guys have a great day, and thanks for watching.